7 years. He teaches college career classes. He has a major in business, a master's in international business, discipline in quantitative analysis, and has over 15 years of management. So please give a hand for Mr. R. Daley.
Well, I am truly honored to be a speaker here today for you young folks. I do have many years in business management, lots of leadership classes. You are probably all going through that right now. This is a very disciplined class right here. This is very organized. It's a wonderful thing to see for the young people. But what I'm here today to talk to you is about teamwork, right? What does teamwork involve? Many of you work in teams now, correct?
Yes.
You have leaders in each of those groups, correct? And that leader delegates things out to those individuals, correct? What happens if some of those folks fall apart? What happens if somebody doesn't do what they're supposed to do? Help me out, don't leave me hanging. What's that? The whole team falls apart, right? So what does that do for morale within the organization? Help me out, go ahead. Speak up. Lowers it, right? It's terrible when somebody isn't pulling their weight. That's what you will see in business. When you get into the organizations, whether it is on a domestic level or an international level, because I think a lot of you students will be working with companies of an international base, right? You'll be dealing with people from different cultures. You're dealing with that now, right? So, learning how to be effective and flexible in a team environment is going to make you successful, okay? You're going to be working with different people across every aspect of business, from the finance department to marketing. Some of you are doing that now. Somebody has one specific job task that they're required to do. Somebody else has another. You have a leader that delegates that out to you. It's vitally important that the lines of communication between your leader and amongst your members are there, and it's effective communication, right? So the best way to become an efficient system is to make sure that you have one goal in mind. Because what happens in business, sometimes people have agendas of their own, which conflict with the goals of the organization or the goals of your group. How many of you have experienced that in the school right now with your classmates, correct? Don't show hands, somebody might get a little mad at you. So. But the most important thing you have to understand in business is you're never on an island, right? You never work by yourself on a project. It's always part of a higher goal. You will always have collaborative efforts within the business structure. So the most important thing you have to understand is organizing teams, having one goal, having people communicate properly and not being afraid to communicate. How many of you have been in groups before where you're afraid to speak your mind? It's tough, right? It's very challenging. And when you as young people get into those organizations and you get into those groups, you must know and must set the ground rules right off the bat. Communication is key to successful teamwork. You have to be able to speak your mind, and your input needs to matter. And let's go back. How did you feel when somebody didn't listen to your ideas? What happened to the group? Come on, help me out. What happens to a group if somebody's ideas aren't presented properly or aren't accepted? What happened? What's that? Miscommunication happens. Animosity happens. Those people in the group, what do? They retract. They don't want to communicate if they think their ideas are going to be either not heard or they're going to be met with fierce resistance. So as leaders, as future leaders of your groups and of your organizations, it is imperative that you learn how to work together. You're doing that now, correct? There isn't one person in this room that isn't part of another project or another group. Am I correct in that? Right? Your group of leaders right here collaboratively must work together to get this efficient meeting going effectively, correct? So what you have to learn going forward is to do your research. Teamwork just doesn't come naturally. Teamwork has to be mature, it has to be nurtured, it has to be trained, it has to be developed. In the business world, nothing gets accomplished by one person doing everything. So there must be collaboration. Could you go to the next slide? The best thing I can tell you, and I know I have a limited time and I want to do one little demonstration for you about teamwork. The best teamwork aspects foster ideas, foster great communication, even if it's communication that may not pertain to the project at hand, at least someone's allowed to have that dialogue within the confines of the group. Poor teamwork damages morale, it kills flexibility, it stymies innovation. Nothing will improve more in your group setting than if all ideas are heard. In the business community, businesses have business processes. There's a business model. Every business has its process and model that it effectively goes to market with and manages, and they must manage it through success. The most important thing you have to understand is some of the greatest companies came from innovative thinkers. I'm sure I don't have to tell this group about who Steve Jobs is, right? Steve Jobs came up with an idea, collaborated with several other people, and created Apple. It was his idea, but he didn't do it by himself. Michael Dell, does everybody know who Michael Dell is? Yes, Dell Computers, correct? Same thing. He's in his garage, he's building computers. But he didn't do it on his own. He needed the support of other people around him to bring his product to market and to make it a successful company. You will have to do those same things. Those of you with entrepreneurial ideas, you must collaborate with someone. Whether that's governments, whether that is other businesses, or whether that is individuals that will help you become successful. It's vitally important that you understand now, when the business community comes a knocking, that you are flexible enough, that you understand that communication is the criteria and the cornerstone for which great companies succeed, and innovation is the key to where that all starts. Bringing your new ideas and fresh ideas as young people to the table will create probably some of the best companies that we have in the United States, if not on a global scale. You're working on that now, correct? You guys do global initiatives, am I correct in that? You do a lot of things internationally. Are you focused on that at all as part of your business program here? Okay. So again, I'll leave you with this second part. You also are going to deal with people of different cultures. In the workplace, you will deal with people from different countries. They see things differently. We always have the statement when I was growing up, seek first to understand. When you are working within international confines, or you're working within businesses that go across cultural lines, you must first seek to understand what motivates those people that are in that organization. And that's a whole international topic altogether. But the most important thing you have to understand is you need to learn about the other person. Understand what makes them tick. Understand what makes their what's their passion, what drives them to succeed. You have to, and that all comes out of communication. Whether it's one language or 7 languages or however many people in diverse environments that you're working with, you must first seek to understand the individual. And that's challenging sometimes, right? Why is that challenging? Thank you very much for the air that was just put on, because I'm sweating profusely right now. So, why is it so important to seek to understand? Help me out, don't leave me hanging. Speak a little louder, Ellie. Well, yes, the customer is the ultimate goal, right? We want to make sure that the customer is taken care of. But backing up to the fact that we need to understand each other. We need to understand why we do the things we do. We need to have a common purpose. And we need to know why we're doing what we're doing and what motivates the other person within our group. Because without all that collaboration, your teamwork falls apart. You will see, and you are learning now at a very young age, that teamwork is the most important thing and role within an organization. I'm getting flat. I'm getting it. Teamwork is the most important aspect of a business. Even as entrepreneurs, you will need somebody by your side to collaborate your efforts. So remember, work on your communication skills. focus on the tasks at hand. And we're going to do a little experiment here before I leave. And always remember, seek first to understand. When you get into your groups, you may know the person next to you, but if you don't, which a lot of you don't know each other right now, but when your worlds come together, you must understand who that person is. Understand what drives them, what motivates them. When you can understand that, and you come together in your collaborative effort, you will be much more successful, much more effective, and your product, which I believe some of you develop products right before your coursework, you will move those products out much faster. Everybody's on the same page. Are there any questions? I know. The air's on now, so it's okay. Great. So, okay. Well, we're going to do a little experiment. I know you guys are going to hate this, but we're going to put some people together that really don't know each other. Could we have that table move? I need 6 people, and don't hate me. There's 1. I need everybody that doesn't know each other. 2, 3. You probably know this group, right? 4. Who knows everybody? 4, 5. 4 here, glasses in the back, and 6 right there. And we're going to try to collectively put you together in a circle. Yeah, we need to like formulate a little circle as best we can. We can slide some stuff, chairs out of the way. Good team, right? So come on, try to form a circle. Try to form a circle. Come back. Form the best circle you can. You gotta make sure you gotta start out. Back. All right, so here's something we do in some of our courses, right?
I just want you to put your
What we're going to do with these 6 individuals is they're going to toss the beanbag. They usually use tennis balls, but a beanbag will have to do with this particular thing right now. And what you have to do in this group is you have to toss the beanbag across from you, but not toss it to somebody next to you, and it must touch everyone's hand. So, you cannot pass it next to you. It has to be across from you. So you have to determine, and it has to touch everyone's hand. And tell me when you have that process figured out. Tell me when you have it, and then we can start.
Okay, if I started and I tossed it to you, you would toss it to Dylan, right? Dylan would toss it, and I toss it to you, Branson would toss it.
Okay, so we have it down, right? We know the process, so we've communicated as team members, and now we understand the process. You have to toss it across from you, you cannot toss it to the side, and it must touch each person's hands, okay? So now we start. I thought we were collaborating, I thought we still had a little work to do. Are we ready? Okay, Miss Thunder, go right ahead. Keep going. Okay, we think we got that process down, right? So they collaborated, they got together, they determined the common goal, and now they've executed it, right? And it's been successful. Now here's the next thing. You add some, because you don't just do one job, right? The world of multitasking is upon us. So we have to do more than just one thing when we're working. So under this scenario, they're going to toss that same beanbag, but they're going to say the name of the individual that they're tossing it to as they toss it. Are they talking behind me right now? Are they collaborating on who is going to be who, right? This is why you pick people that you don't know each other, right? So now they got to work on names and a beanbag. Tell me when you're ready. Got it?
Wait, everyone say your first across from you. Oh, one at a time.
You see how the communication process takes some time, correct?
I'm throwing it at Dominic, or throwing it at Dominic. Okay, got it.
Got it?
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
Dominic.
Say it loud. Loud and proud.
James. Branson.
Jackie.
Keep it going.
Dominic.
James. Branson.
Keep it going.
Dominic.
Liam. James. Branson.
One more time.
Dominic.
James. Branson.
Here we go. Here we go. So let me ask you, the group did very well so far, correct? Hey! So why did you think you thought you had a hot potato? Right? Why did you think you had a hot potato? No time, right? No timing on it. Just toss the bean back to the next person and say their name. Why did you feel like it was? There you go. Quickly and efficiently. That's your mindset, right? Okay. Quickly and efficiently. And that's how a lot of us think in teamwork aspects. Quickly and efficiently. So we're going to throw a curveball, right? So now they have to not only toss the beanbag and call the name, I am going to add a second beanbag. Yes. Right?
You just have 5.
So that's
Just
our
have
next
5.
process of collaboration. Right? So, let's take some bets. Is it going to work on the first time? Yes or no? They have no faith. No faith in your team. Right? So, are we ready? Loud and proud with the names. Ready? There you go.
Dominic. Just
James. Branson.
Dominic. Dominic.
James.
Loud and proud.
James. Branson.
Dominic.
Keep it going.
Dominic.
James. Branson.
Yes. I won $10.
Hold up. All right. So hold up. We're not done yet. So there were only a couple missteps. One was the catch. But I can't say, hey, the catch was the mistake, right? Because sometimes it is and sometimes it isn't. But there was one thing that did happen in there that was the mistake. The beanbags hitting each other. That was the lack of focus on the individuals that were going across from each other. Now this is a test, a true test of your focus on what you have to do to be successful in a collaborative effort. So I'm going to ask the group, and we're going to do another one, and then we're going to add a third beanbag. Right? But the question, can I go just a little bit longer? Am I okay? And thank you for the air, by the way. Anyway, so, when you were doing this process, you made a statement earlier about, I just have to focus on the person I'm throwing at, right? That's really all you have to do. But what happens in the thick of things is we all get, okay, so now I'm hot potato again, right? I got to get it out real quick, and now you lose focus because the beanbag is going in front of you, and you got to call the name at the same time. You make the statement, take your time. Take your time. That's perfect. In a collaborative effort, it's not a rush. It's not a race. Now, if I put a timer on this, it would be. But we're here just to make sure that we're effectively making the team work. So we'll try this one more time, and we're going to add a third beanbag. Okay? All right. I have the other one back. All right, go ahead and start.
Ready? Dominic.
Loud and proud. Loud and proud.
Jackie. Dominic.
James.
Dominic.
Branson.
Jackie.
James.
Dominic.
Branson.
Jackie.
James.
Dominic.
Branson.
Dominic.
James.
Dominic.
James. Branson.
James.
40.
Dominic.
All right. And TCTC players have finished their roles here. Let's get a big hand for the TCTC.
James, what's the point of the deal?
So I wanted to say, it's a great pleasure to learn from these things. Teamwork takes time, it's effective communication. It's also important to stay focused. The goal is the most important thing, not the speed. You have to focus on the importance of collaboration, making sure that you're effectively executing the process. Okay? It's been a great pleasure. You guys have a wonderful day. Thank you very much for letting me be part of this.